Good morning. Out here is the Atlantic Sea, and 30 kilometers in that direction is Akvenir, which is my goal for the day. And I will stay in Akvenir for one day, working and trying to get some clothes washed and get a shower and resupply. And then I continue south, deeper into the desert direction of Layun. Tonight I was sleeping here, in this lovely house. I was actually trying to pitch my hammock down there at the electricity mast, but some people came and told me that I could sleep here for my security. So that's where I did. That's where I slept, and it was really nice. I had my own little room here with a door that can close, and that's where my hammock hang tonight. This landscape you see here is not going to change much for me the next couple of thousand kilometers. On my one side I have the road, which I am following most of the time, because the terrain is a little bit hard to walk in with the mule. But right here it's pretty flat and not so stony, and the soil is hard, so then I prefer to go here instead of the road, where I have to look over my shoulders for cars and everything all the time. And on my other side I have the sea, the Atlantic Sea, and in a way it seems strange to say that I'm walking in the desert when I can see water all the time. But you have to remember that this is salt water. It is not drinkable. So it's actually still possible to die from thirst in the heat of the desert, even though I can jump into the water whenever I want to. It's the same as being on a ship and running out of fresh water. Not very smart. The last couple of days have been extremely cloudy. As you may see, there is a layer of fog all the way around. I just try to turn. You can see it's the same in all directions. It's really cloudy, and I'm actually walking more or less in the shadow all day long. The sun is hidden, but there is still sun enough through the clouds to affect the solar charger and charge my phone, so that is good enough. But I still need to drink water, and there is sometimes pretty far from the one place I can buy water to the next, so I definitely have to be aware of that, especially as I move further south, because the distance between places with civilization and water will be longer and longer. But so far it has been good enough to walk in the Sahara. It has not been so hard yet, mostly due to the weather, to the cloudy weather. But I do believe that I will get my challenges soon enough. I'm enjoying the peace and quiet. There is not so many people out here. I do get stopped by the cars sometimes. Mostly people who ask me if I need anything, if I want some food or some water. Today there was also some African people who stopped. I had asked them to help me to translate in a checkpoint because the officer there didn't speak English. And then I gave one of them a flyer, and they stopped me longer down the road and was really happy. The one guy said he was just about to cry when he read the flyer, and thank you so much for doing this for Africa. And of course that is something that goes to my heart and makes me happy when people react like that, especially because sometimes it feels like the organizational work is going a little bit slowly. It's hard to get the time to contact sponsors, potential sponsors, and get the whole organizational system running, while also walking and eating and washing clothes and finding a place to sleep every day, and focusing on getting a personal income as well. I need to soon find a way of getting a personal income in order to keep myself supplied. But I have a plan, and I'm optimistic, so I don't want to talk too much about that. I just want to say that a lot of time goes with that, so it's time that I cannot use on the organizational work, contacting sponsors and so on. But as always, I will appreciate if someone else out there would like to become a part of the organization and help with those things. We already have volunteers in the organization, of course, but we can always use more. So if you feel like becoming a part of Walking for Water, don't hesitate to write us, and we will get you involved. Yeah. What else can I say? I'm listening to a lot of audiobooks. Right now I'm listening to a book about Buddhism. I'm very interested in religion in general these days. I also just listened to a book about the Bible retold, and I started listening to an audiobook also about the Quran, but I stopped listening again because it was it was more a critical thing, someone analyzing it in a negative, critical way. And it's not because I don't want to look critically on religions. I definitely do that, but I rather want to hear it directly from the source the first time and make my own impressions before I get influenced with other people's negative thoughts about it. So that's actually a thing that I would like to hear. If someone out there has a link to a place I can download the Quran as an audiobook in English, feel free to send it. What else can I say? I'm happy. I'm enjoying life. I feel free out here, long away from civilization, though still not long enough. I had a more romantic perception of what it would be to walk in the Sahara, and it was not with that much traffic as there still are. I hope the traffic will be less. I know that it will not completely disappear at any point, but it will hopefully be less than it is now, so I can actually get a real feeling of solitude. Yeah! Alright, I guess I can get a little better on this one. Practice, practice, practice.